Hello dear viewer of SSBC, welcome to SSBC Power Hours with Akuch Makir. Today we are joined by the Director of St. Lawrence Academy, Achier Manuat John, who will help us understand how education sector operates in private schools and some of the challenges they encounter. So Achier, welcome to SSBC Power Hours with Akuch Makir.
And you're welcome to St. Lawrence Academy.
Can you tell us more about St. Lawrence Academy?
St. Lawrence Academy comprises nursery, primary, and secondary school. It has both boarding and nursery section. We have an idea of expanding to the university level. So we are likely to operate St. Lawrence University in 2 to 3 years to come.
So what motivated you to invest in education sector in South Sudan?
Said a second liberation of South Sudan. South Sudan got independent in 2011, and for our independence to be well, we need to educate our society. So the idea of opening a school is what an American president said, that you don't think what your country can do for you, but you think what you can do for your country. The idea of opening the school is part of a give back to a society. And one of a Nigerian writer, Mr. China Shibe, in his book of An Image of Africa, defined a patriotic. He questioned what is a patriotic person. A patriotic man is not the one who can sing a song praising the country or recite the fame or national anthem. A patriotic person is the one that do a good thing for his or her country. And I believe I'm one of people who love South Sudan to be in the right track. That is one of the things that motivated me to open St. Lawrence Academy.
How is the education system in South Sudan generally?
South Sudan education system is not badly off compared to the era before independence. We have got the new curriculums, which is on CBC, the competent-based curriculums, where the learner is put in the center of facilitation. This one made it different from the previous curriculums. Maybe the challenge that we are facing, since we are a member of the East African community, we are finding it hard. We are finding it hard to cope up with some of the universities. They don't admit our learners directly. When you are from South Sudan, you have to go to a program called Access Program. Access Program is given either 6 months or 1 year for you to start like others. The reason is, most of East African curriculums, it has what we call A-level. I believe you are in East Africa. A-level system. If we have, and it is my dream, and I wish the government should think this way of adding A-level system. After Senior 4, you have to go 2 more years for us to be on the same page with the rest of East African community. Because we are members of East Africa. If we are a member of the state, we must see where we can be on the same ladder with them. This is what I'm seeing, but currently we are picking up. The only challenges are economic and socio-economic problems are the ones affecting education in South Sudan.
Talking of the curriculum, in what way have you compared the South Sudan syllabus compared to the one East African are using?
Most East African curriculums are competent-based, which is the same like the one of South Sudan. But the problem is the level you cover from primary to high school. In East Africa, most of them all, you have to go 3 years in nursery, 7 in primary, 4 in O-level, then 2 in A-level. There is a difference of 2 years.
But the Kenyan system operates almost the same with South Sudan. Even when it was 844, there was still some measures put for South Sudanese to be admitted at the universities. There was some process they should go through.
What caused that? One, the element of independency. You find in South Sudan National Examination Council is not independent from the ministry. They should be made independent for them to have a kind of a regulation, their own policies. Because anything that is attached to, ministry is political side of it. The element of professionalism can be affected. That is one. Two, we have not made much investment in the education sector. When you go to 10 states, you don't find teachers training college. For you to have a quality, you have to have a quality teacher. It is that quality teacher trained to come and train a learner. So this is where we a bit have a kind of a difference with some of them. And we are praying that our government look into this to make sure each and every state got either 1 to 3 college, teachers training college.
Apart from the South Sudan syllabus that you are using, is there any other syllabus you're using as a private institution?
We are purely using South Sudan syllabus supervised by a Ministry of General Education. But of course, as an institution, the vision of St. Lawrence is to be the leading center of academic excellence in the region and beyond. We are doing what we call funnel beating. Funnel beating in a sense that when you are teaching chemistry and you find the coverage of South Sudan books is not wide, we bring an element of salt and oil from different, and even the British kind of book to be integrated. This is to allow the learner to have a wide coverage of knowledge. When he's asked a question, he or he will be in a position to answer comprehensively. Otherwise, we are purely using South Sudan national curriculum. The rest is part of nurturing our kids.
Generally, what are the challenges experienced by educational stakeholders in the provision of quality education in South Sudan?
The challenge that private education or private sectors in area of education are facing are wide. One, we can talk of prevailing economic condition. This economic condition, it affects us directly because as a private institution, the donors are family, the parent, in form of school fees. So when you find an individual house, income has been affected, you have low income, she or he will not be in a position to meet the demand of paying the school fees of the child. And that one affects us. And this is the problem we are in now. That is one. Two, there are no laws that are supporting the private sector in the area of education. Why? You find getting loan from commercial bank, it is hard. It is my prayers that the government look into this one, because for us to change our country, the first thing is to educate the masses. When you have a strong, well-informed society, that is what makes a strong nation. These are the challenges we are finding it hard. And of course, the capacity which I have talked earlier on, most of our national teachers are not trained. So it is forcing us to go overseas, and that one comes with a cost.
And we should train those teachers.
Yes, it is the role of a government in the country to make sure that teachers training college is available in each and every state. It is the role of the government to train them. Of course, in a private school, we are also doing that. We are also doing that internally by creating a session, especially during holidays, where most of teachers who have not gone through teachers training are also trained by the school, especially in the area of scheming, lesson plan, and many others.
So what do you think should be done to improve education sector in South Sudan?
There are so many things that it should be done. One, the budget to the general education is very less. I want to tell you that majority of government-owned institutions are not functioning well. They are not functioning well, not because there are no infrastructures, but because you find a qualified teacher is not getting the right pay. So when you are not getting paid, you can go to either to a private school or to NGO and look for a better pay. This is one of the things. How do we improve? One is to make sure that the budget to the Ministry of Education is increased. At least let's say 4% of the budget, if it go. Because if you analyze our budget, you find the lion's share is taken by defense. And you know, I'm an economist. In economic, any investment that is directed toward a defense is unproductive investment, because you buy a tank is a liability. It's not going to produce an income. But when you channel kind of a big budget to education, you are going to produce and build the capacity of human, which is going to generate the income to a country. So the best thing is to equip the Ministry of General Education with enough budget. Two is to have a reform whereby we have independent South Sudan National Examination Board. I appreciate they are doing a good job, but they need to be given independent role headed by the commissioner. Then their budget is given independently to avoid this element of challenge that we are facing now.
Okay, talking of budget, what is your experience with developing and implementing budgets for a school?
There is a difference between a budget in the public sector and in the private sector. In the public sector, it has two aspects. The aspect of spending and generation. And to generate that only through tax. Through tax. Then spending is where now you either put it for paying the bill or the workers, then road construction and many others. To the private school, a budget focus on the activities that you are doing. And that one is determined by the number of the learners, and learners are the one paying. Once you get that one, you have to look what are you going to do in first term, what is need to be done, is it the construction, then how much should go for payment and how much should go. So it is quite different.
Okay, how do you ensure that all the students have access to equal education? Those with disabilities and those who are normal, so how do you ensure that they are in the same level?
One, as a private school, we don't, and we are a faith-based school, we don't turn away disabled, because being disabled does not mean you are not able to deliver. We have disabled in a class, so we don't bar them away. As a faith-based school, we are made it to give support those who are not in a position to afford fees, especially girls. They are year hand. You may have time also to interview them and get the history. You will be surprised that what we are doing
is actually, we are not after making money. We are working toward building a nation and a legacy.
We are trying to give a support to those who are not in position to support themselves. As a private institution, a faith-based school which has adopted the norm of Lauren.
So St. Lauren is also a charity school.
We are not a charity school per se, but taking at the values and the norm of Lauren, who was killed in 258 AD in Italy. Lauren was killed by Valerian Empire because he rejected the demand from the empire. The empire were ordering all the church to bring their belonging to the empire, and Lauren said, whatever is belong to church, go to the force. So he went and called the poor and distribute the church belonging, and he was killed alive, he was burned. So we took the norm. As much as we are a private school which charge you to pay, we are doing part of what we call a social corporate responsibility to support those who are not in position to afford school fees.
Dear viewer of SSBC, Powerhouse is taking a short break. Stay tuned. We'll be back.
This is Powerhouse with Akuch Makere. This program is focusing on political affairs, developments such as road, education, economic, environment, and current affairs. The program shall speak to specialists, analysts, and prominent personnel. You can also follow us on our social media platform, Twitter at Powerhouse, Facebook and Instagram at Powerhouse.
Dear viewer of SSBC, welcome back to Powerhouse with Akuch Makere. How is the performance of St. Lawrence School generally when it comes to exams?
The establishment of St. Lawrence, for it to operate, it started in 2020. So from 2020 to this year, you can talk of 3 years. Out of 3 years operation, St. Lawrence was ranked the best position for countrywide in terms of academic performance. And it did not come out of nothing. It came out of effort. It came out of the policy we have put in place. Before we operate St. Lawrence Academy, the first thing I've done was to research around. The research was to look at the operating school, their standard of operation, what are the gaps that some schools are missing. Because when you are coming in any sector, area of business, you must identify the gap, and that gap is the one that you can come now and fill. So one we have discovered, most schools were operating and the number of girls were less. You know very well, looking at the UNICEF report, the number of girls in the country is less than the number of boys in area of education. There are factors. You can talk of what I mentioned earlier, socio-economic and cultural aspect. Cultural aspect, you find that, especially in South Sudan, the pastoralist area, you don't allow your girl to go to school thinking that maybe your girl is going to be changed, turned to be a criminal, and you will not be in a position to work or to contribute at home. Other one, you consider them as a source of wealth in terms of marriage. This is a cultural aspect which we have identified in the research. The second one was socio-economic. Socio-economic, you find majority of girls came from humble background. They are not in a position to provide themselves sanitary pad. They are not in a position to support themselves in area of hygiene when it comes to a period. You find that when a girl child happen that she's on period in a class, she may decide because of that kind of stigma not to come to school. St. Lawrence identified that gap and we put up hand. I can say we are the only school in South Sudan operating safe house for girl. Safe house for girl role, it has shower room with the running water 24 hours. It has a resting room with 10 bed, you can go and visit. It has a room for senior woman teacher. We provide sanitary pad. If you look at the number of girls in St. Lawrence versus boy, the number of girls is higher, and we are very proud of that. So this makes us unique.
When assessing the performance of teachers, how do you determine if they are meeting expectations?
You see, in any organization or an institution like this, there are internal tools that you use to evaluate. One, when we are doing recruitment in St. Lawrence, we don't do recruitment based on technical know-how. You apply. We have some who apply from Tanzania, from Kenya. They went through interview. You are considered a member of the school. Then the second one is now in the probation through academic department is to supervise whether you are really what you are demonstrating in an interview and in your document is matching to what you are doing in a class in terms of delivery. There is a check, what you call a time to check all the book for learners by academic. There is a form that each one should sign to prove that you have covered. And there is that verification of schemes of work done by the teachers. Mostly it is supervised by academic department. And of course, as a director, I have a form to verify it. Are you happy in terms of delivering for each and every teacher? When they are closing this year, we give them a form. Can you evaluate ranking the teacher? The best from top to the last. So the one that got top is given an award of Employees of the Year.
What strategies do you use to motivate and engage the teachers?
We are, as I mentioned earlier, we have a challenge of economic. I must appreciate our teachers in all private schools, more especially in St. Lawrence Academy. We are working as a team. I don't come and talk to them as an employer. I talk to them as a colleague. So they know the challenge we are in. The first thing is for them to own the vision of the school. It's for you to consider yourself as the owner of St. Lawrence Academy. The second one is to know that you are the father. You are the father of that child. Because when we were in a different country, the first blame always go when you enter to the new institution. The first blame go to the teacher and the parent who nurture you. So in St. Lawrence, we orient teachers to own the parental, take the role of parental care to the learners, that you are the father of that particular learner. Of course, that one motivate them. That one motivate them and taking them like we are colleagues, as I mentioned earlier. They feel they are doing it because it is there, and indeed they are the owner of the school. Without a teacher at the school, there is no director. And without a director who came up with the idea, there is no teacher to be in a class. So we are a family and we are working as a team.
What subject areas do you think are important for students to learn?
Go to the Curriculum Development Center, because when they develop curriculums, there must be an interest, an interest area that need to be covered. Sometimes they say this subject need to be considered much or compulsory. All subjects are important, but as a country we should chase the idea of science and technology. We should share the idea of science and technology. That is why when we operate a school, we open the lab, the science lab, so that the learners should not only be taught in a class without doing a practical work. It was a surprise to some of them who came from different schools. So teaching them in theory and then also take them practically is helping them. If you ask me, we should pursue science and technology for us to be in a level of Singapore and others.
Your school has been performing well, according to what you are telling us. But if you had a chance or opportunity to change one thing in this school, what would it be?
If I had a chance to change one thing in the school,
the quality of education in this school, despite the fact that you are performing well, what would that be?
The first thing is to consider the welfare of teachers. Because when you are driving a car should have a fuel. Without fuel, you cannot drive. So the first thing is consider the welfare of teacher. Of course, a teacher who is well qualified. The second one is to improve the infrastructures so that everything is available. There is computer lab running 24 hours and science lab, of course, as I mentioned, we have it. These are the things. But we are facing a challenge of what I mentioned, prevailing economic condition. Our donors, and we don't have any support outside. No support has ever come. Our donors are foreign. Our appreciation goes to GATE, this organization called GATE. They are the only institution supporting girl. They are supporting girl so that the girl should be in a position to buy soap, sanitary, and others. So when you find foreigners are not in a position to pay fees, it affects us. It affects us to cater well for the welfare of teachers. So to me, welfare for teachers comes first.
Now girls in your school, you are catering for them. Are there any other challenges that they are facing?
Of course, you cannot avoid any challenge. And challenge is part of learning. If you say you want to avoid challenge in your life, then you will not step to the next level. So there are challenges. I talk of economic challenge. Their need cannot be fulfilled all. These are, we call it, challenge.
What is the future of St. Lawrence Academy?
The future of St. Lawrence Academy is very bright because as an institution we have a vision and a mission. And all our activities are driven by the vision. The vision to achieve quality education, to be the leading center of academic excellence in the region and beyond. It comes with getting qualified teacher. It comes with modern style of management. It comes with making sure infrastructures are in place for the learner to feel at home and for the learner to really cover and discover more in St. Lawrence Academy. We have a plan. Of course, the plan is like a dream. We cannot talk about it, but we have a plan to cover 10 states.
Okay, in a scenario whereby a large number of students don't pay school fees, what do you do as a director for that semester?
That is what I call the economic challenge. When we reach to such level, I want to tell you, Han, in 2021, I don't know whether you will take time to interview the learners. Those who did not pay it were allowed to start, and we tell them, now we are going to a wrong period. because the inflation has hit us. Leave what you did not pay last year, but make sure that you pay the little amount that we have requested. Of course, we assume when you take admission because it is affordable for your child. So you should be in position to pay for us to operate and deliver the services.
So that time you had cleared the all school fees. So how did you handle the teachers?
In 2021, it was not like in 2022 to 2023. Life was not that hard. The inflation was not to that level where we are in now. So you find the payment that we were giving to teachers was less than what we are giving now, based on exchange rate in the market. So it was manageable, and we managed it. Because the little thing we had in terms of uniform and others, parents who were able to pay, we covered it. It was a lesson to us, and we told them that lesson should not repeat itself. Because if we allow it to happen, we shall not operate at the school.
So how well do you operate with the administrators, teachers, and the management in general as a director?
You know, running an institution is a system, and system must have its internal operating. Those internal operating, it is start from the definition of JDs. When you recruit, each and every individual must have JD. In St. Laurent, when you are recruit, you have more than 4 books to sign. You sign your contract for work, the commitment letter, professional code of ethics, because there are some values. If you are in St. Laurent, you are not supposed to drink. If you drink, you are not our teacher. That is one. 2, if you smoke, you are not our teacher, because we are a first base and we are also teaching a society. You must be an example to the learner. The way you dress, the way you talk to them should be number 1, because discipline is not only instilled by caning a child. Discipline starts from the way you talk to a child. Then you are not allowed to have phone exchange with the learner. This is protection of girl child education, and we are very proud. In St. Laurent, we don't have bad news from our operation up to now. There is no element where a teacher is fine having conversation with a girl. And I always announce this in the St. Laurent Day. Parents help us in managing our school, because a school is a collaboration between the administration and the parent. Parent are stakeholders, in a sense that you should look at your child at home. Don't allow your child to use a phone. And if your child is using phone and he had a communication with the school, please come. I want to tell you we are blessed, and it was God's plan, that the teachers we have in St. Laurent Academy are responsible and they are up to the policy they have signed. So running the administration is when you have the policy, and it is the policy that is being academic, it has the policy to be followed. Mine is to come and get the way forward. If there is something that needs my attention or direction, I direct. That is the role of a manager.
Are there some challenges you go through when dealing with the parents?
Yes, there are some challenges. You reach to a level of forcing your child. And when you find a child is being forced at home, in St. Laurent we have a counselor and a senior woman teacher. That child would come, a girl, if she's a girl now, will come and refer to a senior woman teacher. Then a senior woman teacher now call a counselor. There is an issue here. Counselor will come up with a recommendation, either to accommodate the girl, or we call the parent and talk to them. If they are insisting we are not getting any kind of stability toward that child, then director is called to make a decision on this. Then we accommodate them. We ask them, please come to the body to avoid this one. Because when you finish with your degree, with your certificate, you will be in a position to help yourself. This is what we are doing.
Nursery school is very critical, need to be handled well. So how are the services on that side of nursery in your school?
Our vision is always to share an excellent service so that we achieve it. In a nursery, you find one class, you have 2 to 3 teachers in one class. Because nursery is the only class that requires much attention. As much as it also is important to each and every class. In nursery, you have somebody monitoring the child and you have somebody teaching. This is to avoid a kind of accident that might happen. That's one. 2, when you come as a parent, you have to sign. You have to sign, you have dropped your child. When you come back, you the parent should be the one to come with that ID and take, because the world is changing. And we have had so many news that in some school you find kids are getting disappeared here and there. In St. Laurent, we have employed that mechanism to avoid any kind of external shock in terms of bad news, in terms of a child getting lost. We have that tool, and I believe our parents are happy. And if you have your child, you just bring to St. Laurent Academy and give us 2 terms to make a difference.
So what message can you tell the parents who are having children who are ready to join school and some who are already in primary, high school, that can persuade them to come to St. Laurent?
The message that I have for our viewers and the parents is that take St. Laurent as your first choice. And that choice should also involve your responsibility. I want parents to challenge the school in a way that when your child comes to school, take time to have time with your child and review the book, whether this child was taught from Monday to Friday and sometime to Saturday. When you find there is a gap here, you need to question the administration. Why is this not happening?
We are hosting the director of St. Lawrence Academy, Mr. Achier Manyuat John, who is also an economist. So he was able to shed light on the education sector in private schools. So that brings us to the end of our interview today. Stay tuned for the rest of the program. I am Akuch Maker. This is Powerhouse with Akuch Maker. This program is focusing on political affairs, developments such as road, education, economic, environment, and current affairs. The program shall speak to specialists, analysts, and prominent personnel. You can also follow us on our social media platform, Twitter at Powerhouse, Facebook and Instagram at Powerhouse.